Woo, woo. Hey, folks. So I'm glad you're here. Cooled off a little bit. Them 100-degree temperatures are over with, thank goodness. Got me a little pressure washer project here. Been out of commission for a little bit. More spider webs. Hope we don't run into critters. We'll check it out. Let's see what's going on with it. But before we get into it, do yourself a favor. Check out my buddy over here at Mowers and Blowers Outdone Rich. He got some good stuff. You are gonna wanna see it. Hey, let's do this. Well, think about that. That's some fancy exhaust. Hey, it's whatever gets the job done, man. I'm telling you. It'll work. Look like we got an AR pump, and I'm probably gonna pronounce it wrong. Avante Reverte, I think is how it's pronounced. I'm probably wrong. Y'all don't feel as though you have to correct me on it. We call it an AR pump. Powered by one of them sweet GX 390 13 horse Hondas. I like this engine. This old girl's been setting up a little bit. I want to put it back to use. A couple things I noticed right off the bat that's wrong. He took the pneumatic tires off of it and put these old hard tires on here, and it's got him running a bit unlevel. He says he's got the original tires and he's going to put them back on, repair the tires. So we'll compensate for that during our testing. We'll take a moment, do some preliminary checks. Good gravy. I can't even open it. There we go. Do some preliminary looking at this unit, see what all we need to do. We're going to have to check. Oh, looks pretty, son. I don't even know if you can see that on there. That stuff is clean. So he has tried to take some care of this machine. Just got a use for it to bring it back into service. Let's drop it down, look down in that gas tank. See if we can get that cap off. Let's take a look. Let's see if we can see down in here. What do y'all see? Look like just a little bit of water down in the bottom. I'm gonna get that sucked out of there. Take a look down in here. I got my handy dandy extractor pump, oil, gas, whatever you want to do. It's difficult to show you, but there's a bubble of water. These Honda tanks have a tendency. They got a recessed area in the bottom, and its job is to catch that water and have the water down below the fuel pickup. They didn't tell me that. I just figured they were smart enough to figure it out to do that. So I put my suction tube right there in the bottom of it and give it a little pump. It's gone. I'm not gonna crank this machine on the bench. I've seen a lot of folks do that, and I got news for you. I ain't doing it. Gonna be a water pump, gonna be turning, there's gonna be water in it. 2 reasons. A, the heat buildup. A lot of people use the excuse it ain't building up enough heat for the short period of time I'm running it to cause any damage. I tend to agree with you if you just want to try and bust it off and hear it hit. My issue is that's a ceramic coated pump riding in a composite seal. It needs lubrication. Water is the lubricant. Are you going to drain the oil out of this engine? I just want to pull it and then just try and crank it to see if it hits? Why, no, you're not. Same theory on that pump. Don't want to hear about it. Do what you want to do. That's what Rooster's doing. Right there. Turn the unit on. Choke it. The choke's stuck. This thing's been sitting a while. Let me see if I can't move the throttle. I can't move the governor either. It is jammed down tight. I did notice I had some difficulty hooking up this high pressure hose. I hope I can get it back off. He's probably put WD-40 on that O-ring inside there. We're gonna pull that O-ring out, put him a new one. If you're gonna put something in there, don't use WD-40. Get you some silicone spray. I wish I'd pay a little closer attention. Ooh, good looking new air filter on here. I think somebody's tried to take good care of it. It's just went a long time without use. This old boy owns this, runs a dump truck, and he's gonna need this to help keep that truck good and clean. Take a look at that governor linkage. I can't move it. It's gunked up inside that carburetor, as well as the choke lever. Choke lever don't want to move. We'll get that fuel shut back off and get this line pinched and snatch this thing off of here. That is gummed up and don't want to move. That vent hose off. Come on, past that. Boy, I'm gonna let you take a look in here. Look at this. That is gunked up, all of it. No wonder it don't want to move. Choke seized up on there. Here's some of that good cheap stuff right here. Put some on the choke. There we go. That thing was stuck now. Get another shot in there. It's all starting to free up a little bit. There we go. Went all by itself. See that? All right. I got an old raggedy carburetor. This little old bucket. Try and give you a little look. She is some more filthy. Good night. Whew. That bugger bear on. See how bad this looks. That ain't so pretty. We'll let it. Let's go up. That don't look good down in there. I'm gonna try and soften that up a little bit. Get in there. Good night. She ain't turning loose. Let's let it soak for a little bit. We'll come back to it. More and more I think about that carburetor. The shape I see it in, I'm not happy. It ain't worth time and effort for me to clean that up. Motion tube's still stuck in the doggone thing. So, at this point, let me gather up a new carburetor, and we're gonna come back to this jewel. I can't test the pressure on that pump if I can't make this engine hum. So let's do that. I got good spark. I got me a carburetor in. I'm gonna route me a new fuel line. You can probably do it with the tank on. It's a whole lot easier to just take the tank off from me. All right, I got water hooked up. I got me a good little old leak at the hose connection. Should be okay for a test. We'll pull it back apart. We'll get him a new garden hose connector in there. Got my water hooked up and on. Always want, when you're cranking a pressure washer, make double doggone you don't crank it and not pull the trigger. As you cranking over on it, it's building pressure. So you're working against yourself. Go on and hold it open.
Watch his spray pattern. It's got a pulsation to it.
Well, the old motor run out pretty good. I was able to test it. That's what we had to go through just to be able to test it. I noticed a hard pulsation in the gun, just kind of a tap, 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 tap as I'm running it. Now, I am hooked up on a pressurized water system. I do have a leak here. I'm not so worried about that leak at the garden hose connection causing this cavitation. If I was drawing from a tank trying to gravity feed this pump and I knew I had a leak on my inlet, I might address that first. I don't think that's a concern here. My suspicion is it's going to be in the valves. This lower set of caps right here, these are inlet valves, water inlet and inlet valves. You got 3 caps on the top. Those are outlet valves. I've already broken them loose because they are always tight, and you sometimes have to say ugly words to get them to come off. So they're not always going to come off easy. Just be careful. This is brass. Brass is soft. You will strip the head of these things off if you're not careful. So what I want to do is I'm going to pop these inlet valves. And the reason I'm going to inlet valves first, let's think about it. If trash has entered the system, caught in the valve, creating a pulsation, this is its natural flow. I'm going to chase the natural direction of water flow. In, out. So I'm going to follow these valves in that order, looking for either a bad valve, a piece of trash stuck in a valve, maybe a broke cage valve, or valve cage. Take my needle nose pliers and I'm going to gently try and work each one of these out. See what they look like. They should pull straight out. It is a plastic cage. You don't want to crush it. So just kind of be gentle with it. All right, that's the cage. And this is what I call the wafer. And then the seat. Can't say that I see any problem with that. There's an O-ring in the bottom. That can cause that cavitation also. We're going to check it next. That valve sounds good. And what I'm doing, my hands are wet, and I'm just forcing a little air down in there and hear that valve. Y'all play with them a little bit. You'll learn what I'm talking about. That O-ring looks good. Let's move on to our next valve. Something's causing that pulsation, that cavitation in that pump. And there, in return, leaves a loss of pressure. So far, everything's looking good. The face of these valves look good. Pop it back together. And that O-ring looks good. We'll keep chasing. This is not the only thing that will cause a cavitation. A cut packing will cause that pulsation in the gun also. But a lot of times, if that's the case, I'd have had water dripping from one of these cylinders. And the way you know which one it is, if you've got a cut packing, you got cylinder 1, 2, and 3. That water will be dripping right underneath whichever one it is. But this one don't feel so hot. Let me get a better pair of get her dones. Hold on. Them ain't got much teeth to it. Let's try this. I want him out. I want to hold it in my hand. I want to touch it. I want to see it. Something ain't right with this valve. Is it broke? This could be my issue. If it ain't broke, I don't want to be the one that breaks it. Why are you being so difficult? Are you going to show me what's going on with it? All I'm doing is grabbing each side and just gently moving it forward. And it's still snug in there. There we go. I don't know yet why that was so difficult. That cage is smashed. This could be the problem. That O-ring is boogered up in there too. Now, see how it's kind of crushed to one side? And the part of the cage is broken right here. This is what's causing that cavitation. But let's pull the O-ring out of there. It's all out of shape. As you can see, that don't get that ain't an O-ring. That's a used to be a round. So I feel certain we found our issue. I'm not going to go any further. I'm going to see if we can't round up a valve. Let me catch you up on what's going on. Pressure washer, it's fixed. It's gone. Here's what I ended up doing. Scurried through those scrap yard and found a head with the same valve in it. Replaced that one singular valve, tested it out, and while I'm running it, while I'm checking it out, the man what on it shows up. He was proud. He wanted it right then. Gone, out the door, paid, and out of here. We like it. Sorry you didn't get to see it. Rooster likes to get paid. More than Rooster likes to make a video. So, that being said, think about those pumps. Think about what we talked about a cost of a clean and a rebuild versus throw a new carburetor on it. Chasing those valves down is not a big deal. Think about water flow. He's happy. I'm happy. I'm cold, and I'm going to the house. We will see y'all next time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Hey, a little thumbs up is always appreciated, and take the time. I need the support. Hit the subscribe, the little dingy bell, all that stuff. I'm coming. I got to go. Bye. Hey, yeah.